Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And to all my brothers out here preaching this truth to you, I say Shalom. This is Amantazar from the Chicago camp coming back at you again with part two of light sparring turned into a quick decapitation. In part one, I talked about the so-called Jehovah Witness that I had to chop his head off. He asked me what tribe I was from, and I told him that we were discontinued from our heritage. All right, and even if I told you what tribe I was from, you wouldn't believe it no way. Okay, and there's a lot of things we don't know for a certainty, in a way that we could physically point to. All right, but it's all through the spirit. And those of us who don't know exactly, all right, it's all going to be revealed. Okay. So we may not know exactly what tribe we're from. We know we Israelites, right? But it's all going to be revealed. All right. So this is part two of that lesson. All right. And you're not supposed to cast your pearls before swine, right? So it's gonna come in, every now and then you're gonna have to deal with somebody, but you kind of know where they at. You just they're not gonna if they're not trying to hear this word, they just want to contend, and it's okay, you know. Sometimes, I mean, you could choose. It depends on your situation, you know. If you're out in camp and they want to contend, you don't have to contend with them. Go and walk down the street, bro. This ain't for you, no way. All right, because the message is only uh, for the message. We're out here trying to teach Israelites. Okay, we're trying to wake up the elect, and that's a supernatural thing. All right, and only the Father can draw. That's John 6:44. Only the Father's going to draw that. Everybody else, you just basically reproving them, and they're going to get their judgment. This is Proverbs 14:7. It says, "Go from the presence of a foolish man when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge." All right. So, hey, once I hit him with that Jeremiah 31:35, talking about the sun and the moon and the stars, as long as they're up in the sky, that the seed of Israel is always going to be on the earth. Okay. And he was done after that. The only thing he could say was it's a spiritual seed. And that's what this lesson is going into. It's not a spiritual seed. Okay. It's a physical seed. Just as the Lord's seed will continue to what? Do what I'm doing right now. Doing what we're doing right now. We're going to continue to testify, right? And prophesy. This is Isaiah 59:21. It says, "As for me, this is my covenant with them, said Yahweh. My spirit that is upon thee, and my words which I have put in thy mouth, shall not depart out of thy mouth, nor out of the mouth of thy seed." All right, that means your children, your lineage, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, said Yahweh, from henceforth and forever. You see? So that means that the lineage, all right, the true lineage and the heritage of the Lord put word in our mouth that we're going to continue to what? To preach. This is Sirach 36:14. It says, "Fill Zion with thine unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory. Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning, and raise up prophets that have been in thy name. Reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful." All right. So we was with the Lord from the beginning. Okay. Those 144,000 was with the Lord from the beginning. All right. This is Sirach 47:22. It says, "But the Lord Yahweh will never leave off his mercy, neither shall any of his works perish, neither will he abolish the posterity." Okay. That's the seed line of his elect. "And the seed of him that loveth him he will not take away. Wherefore he gave a remnant unto Jacob, and out of him a root unto David." Now this same Jehovah Witness said that the so-called Jesus was the branch or the root of David, but he ain't got no people though. Okay, All these scriptures go back to posterity and the seed of a people. All right. And just to add insult to injury, all right, or fuel to the fire, I showed him in Romans, the 4th chapter. Paul says, what shall we say then that Abraham, our father, as pertaining to the flesh, I found? Whoa. Romans, the 4th chapter, Paul is talking to the Romans. Who are the Romans? Israelites. Okay? Israelites. Romans 11 and 13. For I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I am the apostle of the Gentiles. I magnify mine office, if by any means I may prove to emulation them which are my flesh, and might save some of them. So Paul says that he's the apostle to the Gentiles who are what? His flesh. And he wants to provoke them to emulation. He wants to, that's why he said, follow me as I follow Hamashiach. See? Back to the lesson. The covenant of our fathers. This is Leviticus 26 and 43. Okay? It's not a spiritual covenant. It's a real covenant. It says, the land also shall be left of them, and shall enjoy her Sabbaths, while she lieth desolate without them. And they shall accept of the punishment of their iniquity, because even because they despise my judgments, and because their soul abhorred my statutes, and yet for all that, when they be in the land of their enemies, I will not cast them away, neither will I abhor them, to destroy them utterly, and to break my covenant with them, for I am Yahweh their power. So the Lord says, even though he casting us off, or even though he put us in the hands of our enemies, he not casting us off, Salaki. He didn't cast us off completely. All right? We just have to bear that indignation. Verse 45, but I will for their sakes remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their power. I am the Lord. Now, if you let a Jehovah's Witness tell you that, he's going to tell you that it was a spiritual covenant for spiritual Israelites. But these were physical Israelites he brought out of a physical Egypt. But he's going to give them spiritual promises and spiritual covenants for a spiritual Israel. Doesn't make sense. These are the statutes and the judgments and the laws which Yahweh made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. See, you can't get past this. All these scriptures keep talking about a certain group of people. But again, in order for their religion to make sense, all right, it has to be a spiritual form of these people. It can't be the physical. Micah 7 and 9. I will bear the indignation of Yahweh because I have sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. This is Deuteronomy 33 and 27. It says, the eternal power is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. And he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall say, destroy them. Israel then shall dwell in safety alone, and the fountain of Jacob shall be upon a land of corn and wine. Also his heavens shall drop down dew. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by Yahweh, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency. And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. All right. 2 Samuel 7 and 23. And what one nation in the earth is like thy people, even like Israel, whom the Most High went to redeem for a people to himself, and to make him a name, and to do for you great things and terrible for thy land before thy people, which thou redeemest to thee from Egypt, from the nations and their gods. For thou hast confirmed to thyself thy people Israel to be a people unto thee forever, and thou, Yahweh, art become their power. All right, so Israelites are going to be a people to the Lord forever. Okay? And these same people, the Lord is going to plead with all these nations, all right, in the so-called Middle East that you call Middle East. Joel 3 and 2. It says, I will gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh's Shaphat, Yahweh's judgment, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Okay? So the Lord coming back to plead with all these other nations for his spiritual people or his physical people. Isaiah 45 and 17. It says, but Israel shall be saved in Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. For thus saith Yahweh that created the heavens, the Most High himself that formed the earth and made it. He hath established it, he created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. I am Yahweh, and there is none else. I have not spoken in secret in the dark place of the earth. I said not unto the seed of Jacob, seek ye me in vain. I, Yahweh, speak righteousness, and I declare things that are right. Okay? So the Lord has made physical, real covenants for his physical, real people. Okay? And he's saying here in Isaiah 45, all right, and 19, that the Lord didn't tell Jacob to seek him in vain for nothing. Okay? He didn't tell him to seek him for nothing. Genesis 8 and 22, it says, while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Okay? So just like in Jeremiah 31 and 35, as long as the what? The sun and the moon and the stars have a job to do, Genesis 8 and 22 says, while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Like the Lord says, as long as the moon and the sun and the stars are doing their job, the seed of Israel will remain on this earth. All right? And guess what? The earth was made for our sakes. In closing, 2 Ezra 6 and 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Okay? So this has been part 2, light sparring turned into a quick decapitation. And it was just basically a recap of a cut session that happened with a Jehovah's Witness, all right, who thought he had a brother confounded, going to ask me what tribe I was from, all right, and it didn't work. It didn't go well for him. I pray that this lesson was edifying. Until the next one, shalom.